As a beginner DM, the most iconic line you'll ever hear is, "It all starts in a tavern." We see it in high fantasy like Lord of the Rings, for example. And honestly, it is not a bad way to start. Taverns are great public places where all walks of life meet. They're usually in the middle of crossroads or large cities where literally anybody can walk in and meet new people. But if every single adventure started in a tavern, things get a little bit boring and repetitive. Not to mention the first hour will just be the players staring at each other awkwardly and trying to introduce themselves like they do in real life. So how do we keep things fresh? Well, we change the context. The context of your story can be anywhere from the change in the physical location of where your players meet to the circumstances and the conflicts that your players are immediately facing. You'll see what I mean throughout the course of this video. First off is the prison break. For different reasons, all the players are in the same prison and they're awaiting their either trial or execution. And while they're in nearby cells, a mysterious figure comes by and unlocks all of the cages and stages a prison break. As the prison break happens, the players need to work together and fight their way out of the prison. And once the prisoners do escape, what will the players do then? Will they pursue the mysterious figure or will they go off on their own path? That is completely up to your players. Second is the Adventurers League. The players are responding to a flyer from the Regional Adventurers League. It is a breakout league where if you join, you reach fame and fortune. The players then complete a series of challenges, reach a new level of found family, and then go on from there. The third one is what I call the Mega Dungeon. For one reason or another, your party wakes up in the middle of a massive underground lair or dungeon and are trying to escape. They have no memory of how they got here or how they even know each other. But while they escape, they discover factions, creatures, societies that are trying to stop them from escaping. And after getting past all of the fighting, they finally meet that one non-hostile NPC that tells them that nobody leaves. Because if the party leaves, then it spells doom for the rest of the dungeon, like end of the world level type of danger. Now, does that actually happen if the players will step outside? What actually happens outside? That is completely up to you. Number 4 is the festival. Every year, a festival takes place at the capital, and people from all walks of life attend said festival. And even celebrities are in attendance. And just so matter of fact, the story begins where a celebrity arrives where all of the players are eating lots of cotton candy and doing carnival rides. But shortly after the crowd gathers, the city guard begins to leave and slowly go away. Thugs come out of the crowd to try and kidnap the celebrity. So will your players jump into action? Will they protect said celebrity or will they let it happen? And regardless whether the party helps the celebrity or not, what you can do is follow up on it and make the choice seem much more impactful and let that set the tone for the rest of the campaign. This is more of an open world idea where this one decision has set off a series of events that your players will have to live with. The fifth idea is the mysterious letter. This one takes a little bit of setup. Before the game starts, name an NPC and let the players describe their relationship with said NPC. And of course, don't let them share it to each other outside of the game. That's not fun. The game starts where the party meets together for the very first time at the NPC's funeral. After the final ceremony, the party sees the will and testament of said NPC, and it appears that the NPC has hidden a massive treasure that they want to give only to the people that truly knew the NPC. So your party needs to work together to find the treasure and go through the NPC's very complicated past. Number 6 is what I call parks and recreation. And the reason why, admittedly, it sounds cheesy, it's because it involves one thing, and that is money. Every adventurer needs money, and there's nothing more straightforward for when you have a bunch of coworkers that become friends along the way. The game starts where each player is responding to the same board quest. It can be something exciting, like maybe it's an escort mission for a traveling caravan, or maybe even something boring like loading boxes off of the docks of some port city. Whichever job it is, have a few encounters where the players have to work as a team, and then by the end of succeeding all of those challenges, the employer goes to the players and says, you guys should team up. And yes, it's kind of stereotypical, but it works, and we want the players to somehow get together and work together for a specific reason. Number 7 is the Battle Royale. If you play Warzone or Apex Legends or even Fortnite, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Another good example of this is Hunger Games, if you read Hunger Games. This is a campaign where your party is dropped on a remote island along with several other adventurers and are trying to survive. They start off with nothing, they don't have any weapons, no armor, not even material components to cast spells, and as soon as they land, they have to scavenge the nearby areas and not get into any contacts with other adventuring parties or any of the roaming creatures that live on the island. Because if they come across a well-armed group, or they come across some horde or some monster lair without anything to protect themselves with, this can go really bad really fast. And finally, we have what I call the isekai. So isekai is a Japanese genre of anime where the story is about a group of people or protagonist that is thrown into another world. So in D&D terms, what if I took the traditional barbarian fighter wizard and I threw them into a more modern world? Or what would happen if I took the same characters and maybe instead of a different timeline, I threw them into a different plane of existence, like the Shadowfell, for example? To be honest, it's a lot more work than the other choices I've had on this list, but really that's the point of it. That's the fun of creating your own sub-world that they can live in. All of these adventures are great to start off with, but to really fill that in between of the main storyline, you're gonna need some encounters. So I made this video right over here. Be sure to click that and you won't regret it one bit.